Ooh, Mac loves that. There you go. What's up with your lip, dude? You like that? Does that feel good? Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to answer a question that we get asked pretty often here at Willow Ridge Acres, and that is, how do Great Pyrenees handle the South Texas heat in the summer? And we get asked this pretty often because it gets very hot here in Texas. In fact, it's gotten to over 100 degrees every day for the past week, and I'm sure it's going to get that way again today. And these dogs, they're very big, they're very furry, and a lot of times when you do a Google search for these dogs, you'll find pictures of them somewhere up north in the snow, and so people think that they can't possibly live somewhere where it gets hot. And I'm here to tell you they can, but there's three things that you need to do to make sure that they can do that they can live outside and be working dogs in the heat and do it well. But there's also one thing that you must avoid if you want your dogs to be healthy out in the heat. So stay tuned, let's get started. The first thing that you're going to want to do to make sure that your Great Pyrenees can withstand the heat of the summer living outside as livestock guardian dogs, you're going to want to make sure that they stay brushed, because these dogs have a double coat. They actually have like a kind of a thin, more coarse top coat, but they also have a much thicker wool-like undercoat. And in the winter up north, where it snows a lot, where it gets really cold, that wool undercoat really helps to keep them warm in the winter, but it can also be like wearing a very thick winter coat in the summer. So they'll naturally try to shed that out as soon as it starts getting hot outside, but you know, just like any dog, as they're shedding, some of it can kind of get matted up or get stuck in their top coat. So one of the big things that you want to do is invest in some good brushes to brush them out. And this is one of my favorite ones here. It's an undercoat rake. I'll link it down in the description below so you can see which one that we like to use. But this one works really great. In fact, this is Meredith here. This is one of our dogs, and we just brushed her yesterday. Okay, so like, this isn't like she hasn't been brushed in a while. She literally just got brushed yesterday, and watch this. Like, this is how much they shed. Okay, so you can see her coat looks really nice and clean, but even though we just brushed her yesterday, watch this. Can still get that much off of her just in a couple strokes with the undercoat rake. So it's very important to make sure that you rake out that undercoat. Now another tool that I like to use is also this one. It's kind of a dematting comb, and it's kind of a specialized comb for their coat. And what I like to use this one for is, like on Max behind here, he likes to get in the water trough and kind of gets his backside a little bit dirty, and this one works awesome. You kind of put your thumb right here, and it's got these like longer, a little bit sharper, you know, rake parts of it, and you can just kind of go in there and dig in through the coat and get all that dirt out and get some of the mats, or you know, where it's gotten kind of tangled up. You can get that out of there, and you know, the dogs don't even seem to mind it really. So, and again, you can see it's pulling some of that out there. So this one's awesome too. I'll link this one in the description below. Now, I told you that there was one thing that you must avoid doing if you want to keep your Great Pyrenees cool in the summer, and that's actually trimming or shaving their coat. Don't do that. You might be tempted to do that because you see how thick, and it kind of looks like they might be hot in all this fur. But like I said, as long as you keep it brushed out and you help them shed out that undercoat, that's all they need. They actually need this this top coat to protect them from the sun. They actually have a very fair complexion to their skin, and if you shave off or trim their top coat too much, or honestly at all, they can have dangerous exposure to the sun. They can get sunburnt, and this top coat actually helps keep them cool. It's actually very breathable as long as you brush out that thick undercoat. So listen, if you have a groomer that you're taking your Great Pyrenees to, and the groomer is telling you that you need to shave or trim their coat, take them to a different groomer. They don't know this breed very well. This breed does not need to be shaved or trimmed in the summer. They just need to be brushed out very well. Hey, if you're finding this information helpful, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Great Pyrenees content. We have a lot of older videos, and we're also coming out with new videos all the time about our Great Pyrenees and our small farm here. And we actually just started a weekly live stream, 7:30 p.m. every Tuesday night, and we're focusing on our Great Pyrenees puppies right now. We had 25 puppies from our 3 different females, so you want to make sure you tune into that. Check out the link down in the description for more information. Now, the second thing that you want to provide for your Great Pyrenees if you want it to do well in the summer heat is plenty of shade. So here at Willow Rouge Acres, we have plenty of open spaces where it gets very hot under the sun, but we also have some big trees like this one that the dogs can go and get underneath and get into the shade. And what we find is that the Great Pyrenees itself, the breed, isn't super active during the day. As a livestock guardian, most of the threats come at night. Now there are some threats from like hawks or different buzzards and stuff up in the air, and what's really cool is if they see the shadow of a hawk flying above, they'll actually get up and chase it off and bark at it. But other than that, during the day, a lot of times they're just laying down in the shade, relaxing, cooling off. So you want to make sure that they have plenty of shade that they can lay down in, whether that be under a tree, or maybe you've got like a shed or a barn that they can get into to get out of the sun. Just plenty of shade will help keep them cool in the summer heat. Now, we've been meaning to do this video for a while. In fact, we have another video that's the polar opposite of this one. We did a video in the winter answering the question, how cold is too cold for Great Pyrenees to be outside? If you want to check that out, check it out in the link I'll put right above here. Now, the third thing that you need to provide for your Great Pyrenees so that they can do well in the summer heat is you got to provide them plenty of fresh and clean water. Now, this can be challenging to keep the water clean and fresh because in the hot summer, they actually like to get into the water and cool off. So when they're getting into it, they'll also track some dirt, some mud into the water. So it's honestly, in the heat of the summer, it becomes a daily chore for us to come out and dump out their water trough and fill it back up. That way we're keeping the water fresh and clean. During the fall and the winter, we're only having to dump out their water trough maybe once a week, and we just go out there and fill it up, every couple days. But in the summer, when it's really hot, because they get the water dirty by getting into it, we have to come out every single day, dump it out, and put some fresh, clean water in there. Now, it's probably tempting to use a bowl, something like this. It looks like a pretty large bowl, and put water in that for the dogs. And while that would be fine for drinking out of, the problem with that is they will still try to get in it, even though they won't fit completely in it. What they'll do is they'll come and they'll paw at it to try to get the water to come and splash themselves, and they'll end up emptying it, and they'll actually pick it up, and you'll find it out on your property somewhere, just dumped out and dumped over, and that's not good because now they don't have any water to drink. So instead, we use larger water troughs like these. You can get them at Tractor Supply. I'll put a link in the description below. But we use a big enough water trough. We have a few of them around the property, big enough to where they can get in it, but they're too heavy for them to tip it over and dump it out. So while that makes it to where they can get in it and make it dirty, and as you can see, we just changed that out yesterday, and it might look a little bit dirty and murky, and you might be thinking that's disgusting to drink, but the top of it is actually not super gross, and we're gonna dump that out and clean it out again today. So we do that every single day. Now, one of Mac's favorite things to do when it gets hot outside is to get into the water trough and sit all the way down into it. And we laugh, think it's funny because he looks like an old man taking a bath when he does it. And that is why we have such a hard time keeping them clean. Now Meredith is a little bit bougie. She likes to get into the water trough, but she doesn't like to get her bottom wet. So she'll actually just sit down on the edge, just like she's doing right there, to where she doesn't get her bottom down into the water. But she'll sit there and she'll cool off, and then she'll get out. Well, that's it for today's video. We sure hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on the next videos that we post. And I hope that you join us on our next live stream this coming Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. We'll see you there.